Hello everyone. So today we will be solving the multiple choice questions of the short story With the Photographer, which is written by Stephen Leacock. So before we proceed, I'd like to give you a few instructions. I will not be reading the question out loud, and enough time would be given to read the questions and write your answers in your notebook. But if you don't, please pause the video and complete that page. After you have solved the 34 questions, we are going to discuss each question in detail. So you can start with question numbers 1, 2, and 3. Okay, moving to the next set of questions. Moving to question 7. Moving to the next question. Moving to the 13th question. Moving to the 16th one. Next. Next. Moving to the 25th one. Moving to 28th. 31st, moving to 34th. Okay, so I hope you have completed. Now here is the answer key. Please pause the video and check your answers. And now we will be discussing each question in detail. So let's go to the first question. How did the photographer react when the protagonist informed he wanted his photograph taken? So that is in the second line. The photographer looked at me without enthusiasm. So that is option number B. How did the photographer look? So he said in the fourth line, but there is no need to describe him. Everybody knows what a photographer is like. So he looked just like any other photographer. Option A. What was the photographer wearing? So in the third line, it is written, he was a drooping man in a grey suit. So he was wearing a grey suit. How long did the photographer make him wait? So in the second paragraph, it is written, I waited an hour. So he waited for 1 hour. What did the protagonist do while waiting for the photo to be taken? So he said, I read the Ladies' Companion for 1912, the Girls' Magazine for 1902, and the Infant's Journal for 1888. So he read magazines and journals. The sixth question, what did the man feel in breaking the privacy of the photographer by a face of his? Okay. That is again in the second paragraph itself, right after this answer. I began to see that I had done an unwarrantable thing in breaking in on the privacy of the man's scientific pursuits with a face like mine. So he felt like he did an unwarrantable thing. Option B. What did the photographer do to adjust the lighting? So that is nearly in the second last paragraph. And he was out again, tearing at the cotton sheet and the window panes with a hooked stick, apparently frantic for light and air. So, option D. When the photographer finally came away from the camera, how did he react? So, that is in the last line of the first page. When the photographer came out at last, he looked very grave and shook his head. That is option A. What did the man think the photographer was doing when he put the black cloth over himself and was quiet? That answers just before this answer that we found. The time he was very quiet in there, I knew that he was praying and I kept still. So praying is the answer. Ninth one is A. The next question, what did the photographer say about the man's face? That is in the next page, first line. The face is quite wrong. So he says the face is quite wrong. Option C. 11th one, what would make the face better? So that is in the third line. I think he said the face would be better 3/4 full. So that is option C. What did the photographer try to do with the man's face? So it is all of the above. See, because he twisted my face as far as it would go and then stood looking at it. So he definitely tried to find a flattering angle. He went back to the machine and took another look. Then he said, open the mouth a little. So he tried to alter his expressions. Then he also said, put the hands on the knees, please, and turn the face just a little upward. So he altered his pose. So answer is all of the above. What was the man's response to the photographer's comment about his face? So if you remember, in the first line, when